Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for both emails, Mike.
No problem. Um, that email with a study guide, that's what they call it. Okay, it's okay, just a summarized form of all pretty much okay the relationships. Okay. Okay, guys, so any questions before I proceed on? Okay, so we said receiver. We had amplification, also known as receiver gain. We had compensation, also known as time gain compensation, depth gain compensation, and swept gain. We then had compression, also known as log compression, and dynamic range. Now the function, okay, and we mean is okay, just have two functions left. One is going to be okay, demodulation and reject. Okay, so let's just try to talk about these two functions here to begin with. Now demodulation. Now the good thing about this fellow here is okay, it doesn't have a synonym that you guys will have to remember. But this is actually okay, a two-step process. Okay, so it's going to have, it's going to be completed in two steps. The first step is going to be okay, what we will call rectification. The second step is going to be okay, what we will call smoothing, or well, okay, yes, this can also be called inner looping. Okay, now the whole purpose of SOK demodulation is mainly SOK to, because SOK convert the signals to be more suitable for display. Okay, guys. Another thing is, okay, this is not adjustable. Okay, which in this case, I mean, it would mean that, okay, it's something that the system pretty much, okay, will perform automatically. Is that clear? Okay, and since as okay, it's mainly as okay just to make the signals suitable for display. This process, unlike amplification, unlike compression, unlike compensation, doesn't have any effect upon your image as such. Okay, now the way that I usually do this is, let's talk about okay, these two steps here, one by one. What do okay we mean by rectification followed by smoothing or enveloping, which means okay, both were steps of your demodulation. So demodulation. Now, what we have is we have a sound wave. It appears we can say it's okay a certain number of cycles. Now, just to say it's okay, we can just say that these are your positive sound waves, and these is okay were the negative sound waves. Now, this is all after yes, okay, compression, amplification, compensation. Okay, your sound waves still look like this. Now, our first step of demodulation. Let's just do it this way. Our first step of demodulation is going to be rectification. And what rectification mainly is okay, that's what going to do is convert all these negative voltages or signals here into positives. So what you mainly can say is that, okay, that after rectification, that this would be just okay what our sound waves will look like. And we mainly can say that the negative voltages became positive. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So this was mainly as okay what rectification would be. Okay. Now the next step, because now we have yes, okay, let's say that we have this somewhere here. Okay. Where okay, yes, these were the original positives. And we can say, okay, these originally is okay were the negative voltages, but which means yes, okay, it just became positive as a result of rectification. Where we mean yes, okay, we're saying okay, the next step is going to be what we call smoothing or enveloping. Yeah, okay. Which means it will be let's say it's okay, this unit here. Mainly it's okay, just or these waves here, mainly it's okay, become one unit of sound waves. So that's going to be it's okay, your smoothing or enveloping. Okay, guys. So pretty much okay, all that you need to know about demodulation, that it is a two-step process. Okay, first step is what we call rectification. Okay, where negative voltages are converted into positives. Where, okay, after that, we have, yes, okay, what we call enveloping or smoothing. Okay, in which, okay, as these sound waves here, okay, mainly are enclosed into one unit. Okay, as I said earlier, yes, okay, this was not adjustable, which mainly means there's no knob that you can twist and turn and, okay, yes, increase or decrease your demodulation. Okay, as unlike the other features that we talked about in regarding of the receiver, these or this one here doesn't have any effect upon the image itself, but it's mainly as okay, just a process that's going to going to make the signals of the sound wave, which already has been amplified, compensated, compressed, getting more suitable to SOK be displayed on your monitor. And then mainly SOK, what is that? The two steps of this fellow here means. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, dear guys, we can then just go on to our last step of a function of our what do we call that fellow? Receiver, sorry, which is going to be reject. Now, before we go into the details of reject, that's okay. This can also be known as, it can be known as suppression. Okay. It may also be known as, I didn't choose. As a threshold. Is that clear? Now, just to understand, yes, okay, what reject is going to be doing. Let me just give an example. Let's say that somebody is okay, suggests something. I'll put a suggestion on the table. What are the two things that I can do?
Accept or reject it.
Accept or reject it. Well, what would it mean if I accepted it? It will be checking in, right? Clear, okay. Whereas if I say it's okay, reject is probably going to be wiped off the table, right? Okay. And we don't see it anymore. We don't hear about it anymore. End of discussion. Did that make sense? Okay. Okay. Now, just to understand this, what is going to be as okay the likelihood of me as okay accepting a suggestion?
It's a 50-50 chance that you'll accept it or reject
No,
it.
no, 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 not about me generally. Okay, let's say it's okay. Some employees is okay suggest something to their boss about changes in the policy or whatever, whatever. What would be the likelihood for the boss to just okay accept those suggestions?
It wouldn't be 50-50.
No.
Okay. Not very likely. I don't
It
know what kind
depends.
of box is this.
Okay, let me put it this way. If 90% of the employees stands behind that suggestion and say, well, okay, you listen, buddy, either you accept this or we are going on a strike.
All right, then they're pretty likely to accept it.
Right, okay. So strong signals, right? Okay, because they send a strong signal and say, well, okay, this is a demand for from 90% of us. Clear, okay. So what's the likelihood of that suggestion to be wiped off the table? Not likely, right? Willingly or unwillingly, it's okay, but since it's a strong suggestion, it's a strong signal, it would not be rejected, right? Clear, okay. Where, okay, as a signal or a suggestion that only, let's say, it's okay, 2% of the employees are standing for. It's going to be, it's okay, a weak suggestion, right? Okay. And it will be easy for him or her, whoever your boss is, to say, well, okay, this one here I can't accept. Did that make sense? Now let's put this into ultrasound physics. Now, guys, the other day, the other day, sorry. We talked of noise, right? Oops, shit, that's not what I wanted it to be like, sorry. What did I say noise was going to be, or was? First of all, it's okay, we call it noise because, okay, it was unwanted. Clear? Why was it unwanted? Mainly as okay, because okay, we can say okay, it reduces the visibility of the scan, right? Clear? Right?
Right.
Good. So mainly as okay, because it is unwanted. That's why it's okay, we want you, it's okay, get rid of it. But on the other hand, I also say it's okay that this noise here is okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be loud, should be considered noise. Okay. But actually, it's okay. What we said was that okay, yes, noise actually is okay, was very, 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 very low intensity signals, right? Or I say sounds. And that's why it's okay. I gave you it's okay the example of okay, yes, the buzzing of a mosquito. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you remember that, okay, yes, that noise actually is okay, was very low or very, 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 very low or weak intensity signals. That will tell you, or as I just said, a suggestion that only as okay a few employees will be standing behind. That's going to be a weak suggestion, right? Okay, and it will be easy for your boss to say, well, okay, that one I can't accept. So that is wiped off the table, or if I don't accept it, reject it. Did that make sense? So what is that rejection is going to do? It is mainly as okay going to be a mechanism that is going to as okay eliminate weak intensity signals off your image. But what is it we call those weak intensity signals? They were the one which were noise. Did that make sense? So reject pretty much was or is a suppression or threshold. Clear? Okay. Is mainly as okay to get rid of that's okay that very, 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 very weak sounds that we actually is okay called noise. Okay. Did that make sense? Whereas, well, okay, it will not be able to just okay reject the strong signals. Okay. Okay. So we can mainly say it's okay that the strong signals or strong sounds. Okay. That's okay. Are unaffected by reject or what you call suppression or what you also call is okay a threshold. Now just yes, okay, one way to yes, okay, remember that okay, yes, reject also was called suppression. Now people in society who are weak, they are the ones who can easily get suppressed, right? Ego. Okay. So suppression or rejection is mainly going to mean, well, okay, yes, whatever you said, whatever you suggested, to hell with it. Sorry. Okay. But as okay, it's still going to be as okay, not affecting the strong signals. Clear. Now, guys, in this case here, now when we say it's okay, reject, in this case here is okay. What is it going? It's made as okay, going to be as okay, the low intensity sounds that we previously referred to as noise. Right, okay. Okay. We can actually as okay. Let's put it this way, it's okay. get rid of some of the noise that might have been produced by amplification by increasing our rejection. Okay, or this does mean that's okay, there's going to be a noise filter. Okay, that's going to, yes, okay, try to filter out the noise. But here, guys, noise was your low intensity signals or sounds. Is that clear? So in this kind, it's okay for regular, it's okay, B mode imaging or 2D imaging, as we may call it. Getting rid of noise is going to be as okay what we will call reject, which is eliminating low intensity or power amplitude signals. Did you guys get that? Good. Now, guys, in a later chapter, there's going to be a very similar concept to reject. Okay, that is going to be repeated. Okay, it will just go under another name. Okay, and it's going to be something which is low, 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 that is going to be filtered out. Okay, so here we can just say as okay, reject is mean as okay, there's going to be a noise filter. Just like you have an air filter, right? Okay. What is that going to do?
Filter out unwanted like particles and
Particles, exactly. Okay. So the likewise here is okay. Reject is just going to just okay, filter out the noise. Okay. And this can be adjusted. Now, guys, okay, there's not a physical knob that says reject, but yes, okay, on your system, if you recall, let's say it's okay. Yes, okay, this was our keyboard, right? Yeah, this is also okay, going to be it's okay, our display screen, where you have your image and all that. Okay, and then we had, okay, as the screen here. Okay, we also had those 5 knobs. But this screen here, that's going to be, it's okay, a little window. And please, this was okay, yes. This was your touch screen. So that actually that's okay, going to be, it's okay, a little window here that says reject. If it doesn't say reject, it may say threshold. Okay, but actually it's okay. By touching this, that's actually going to be, it's okay, an arrow that may point up, or there may be, it's okay, an arrow that points down, where you actually is okay, can increase your reject, or you can say it's okay, decrease your reject. Now, what would it mean to yes, okay, increase reject, for instance?
You're increasing the noise filter?
Okay. So if you increase your noise filter,
You're
I think
decreasing
it's going to be
noise.
the outcome of this, my dear.
Decreasing noise.
You can say it's okay. Noise that, let's put it this way, that we had noise that was produced by very, sorry, yes, okay, very weak signals, right? Okay. We had noise that might have been produced by well, okay, we can say it's okay. Strong signals, but it still fall in the category of noise, right? Okay. Okay. And then we for instance, okay, had noise that okay, it's still noise, but it's okay. It will be as okay. Stronger signals. Yeah, okay. So let's say that okay, if we for instance, okay, had our filter at the lowest. Yeah, okay. Or lowest reject. Okay. That was only going to just okay, eliminate this. Whereas okay, as we keep on increasing the reject, more and more noise will be filtered out. Okay. Where we can say, okay, all these still fall under the category of noise. Or we can say, okay, this is going to be very weak noise. This may be a little bit stronger. This may be, yes, okay, the strongest of category of noise. Okay. Which is going to be, yes, okay, a stronger signal, but still fall into, yes, okay, what we can consider as being noise. Okay. So the more reject, or the more we increase or reject, we can mean it says, okay, more and more sounds is going to just okay be filtered out. Where okay, if we decrease it, okay, if we decrease reject, okay, this may as okay start appearing. The next tick, yes, okay, we will decrease it. This noise may start be filtering because it's only going to be this here will be filtered out. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Okay, but please keep in mind that reject only affects the, because it's a very weak intensity signals. Where okay, yes, and the strong intensity signals are unaffected. Any questions?
No questions.
Okay, guys. And what was it that noise was going to look like?
Static.
What did you mean by static, Christian?
Well, it's kind of just like it weakens the whole picture, makes it kind of hard to
It
distinguish.
fogs it up, right? Okay, okay, yeah, okay. So those small SOK sparkles, if that's what you want to call it, or SOK, that misty appearance that your image may get is probably SOK due to noise, which is a pain because it reduces the visibility of your nice view that you want to see. Okay. Okay, guys. So are you guys good on the receiver and its functions?
Yes.
Good. Now let us just then look on to this, okay, what we can call the dynamic frequency tuning. Yeah, okay. I hope everybody knows what a frequency is. Number of cycles per second. Clear? Okay. Now the word dynamic, we mentioned that the other day, but that's going to be a term that's going to become more and more and more used as we proceed through our course here. So dynamic is mainly going to be something that we can say constantly changes. Okay, that can be referred to as being dynamic. Where the opposite of dynamic is going to be status quo. And tuning. Now, guys, whenever you work with frequencies, that's you may be tuning. Have you guys tried to tune into a radio? Looking for a station. What is it you're doing? You are tuning your radio, right? Okay, you're trying to tune into a specific frequency or be able to catch that frequency. Because, when the frequency of your receiver matches the frequency of the transmission of the radio station, you catch the signal. And then you can listen to whatever is being transmitted. Okay. But here is what we mainly say is that yes, the transducer is not going to be tuned into just one frequency. Because what do we know that the transducers have? They have a bandwidth which is a range of frequencies where we can say from high to low or from low to high. Did that make sense? That was what we call the bandwidth. But we can mean says, okay, that the transducer is okay, will be constantly tuning into, yes, okay, those multiple frequencies of the transducer that falls within the range of the minimum and maximum frequency. Because, okay, this range here was what we call the bandwidth. Now, what we can say is, and that's what I said yesterday, the lower frequency of your bandwidth, or I guess that's okay, the lower frequency, that will have highest penetration. Why? Due to lowest attenuation. Whereas, okay, the highest frequency of your transducer, or let's say, okay, of the bandwidth, okay, highest frequency, meaning it's going to be the one that has the least penetration. Meaning because of this high frequency is okay, that's going to have the highest attenuation. We can then, as okay, just put in some other frequencies here as well. We can say this range of frequency. We can say it's okay. We may have this frequency. Okay. And we can say it's okay. We may have this frequency, but as we go from here to here to here to here to here, along our bandwidth, the frequency is okay, goes from the minimum to a higher, to an even higher, to an even higher, to the maximum. And what the transducer will be doing is, yes, okay, constantly, yes, okay, tuning into these different frequencies. And when we, okay, when we then look at it, look at this in form of an image, what can we say? Now, the maximum frequency that was going to form, let's say it's okay, the shallow part of the image. The slightly lower frequency along the bandwidth will form this part of the image. The slightly lower will form, let's say, it's okay, this part of the image. The lower will form this part. And the minimum will form this one. Did that make sense? Okay. But, okay. That is not something that is simply as okay understood, like, because okay, yes, if we, for instance, okay, increase the depth too high, even as okay for the minimum frequency of the bandwidth, okay, may still be too high for the sound wave just okay travel here. This part here is okay, may still be as okay. The sound may still is okay be attenuated at this depth here. Okay, okay. We can compensate that by as okay increase our compensation. Okay, but if we even if we increase the depth of the image beyond yes okay the ability of the lowest frequency sound to penetrate, because even yes okay that is going to yes okay now we're traveling as okay to limitless depths. At some point as okay this will still be as okay the distance will still be as okay too high for it to penetrate, because it would have attenuated at that depth. Okay, but this is mainly as okay what we mean by as okay a dynamic frequency tuning, that the transducer is okay constantly is going to okay tick 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 send our frequencies along as okay of your bandwidth. Okay, where the maximum frequency of the bandwidth is only going to be able to travel to shallow depths, because that greater frequency is okay causes less penetration. Why? Due to this is going to have a greater attenuation. And all this here is okay, we can say it's okay. This one here might have been it's okay, the one in the middle, which was okay as our main frequency or the resonant frequency. Okay, but lower frequency is okay, deeper depths of image, higher frequency, shallower depths, and okay, the highest, the shallowest depth. Did that make sense? Yeah, okay. Now, okay. So this one mainly is okay, just you can say it's okay, the mechanism. Okay, it's pretty much okay, it happens automatically where you can say it's okay, tick, 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 yes, okay. But this is going to yes, okay, be repeated just in another context in your next chapter. Okay. So you're going to come across as okay, this phenomena here again. Okay, it's just going to go on this, okay, or being discussed under another name or heading in the next chapter. Any questions, guys? Okay. So what did a broad bandwidth transducer give us? A greater range of frequency that we could tune into, right? Okay. What was the relationship between frequency and wavelength?
Inverse.
Inverse. So at shallow depths, we had high frequencies, right? Shorter wavelength, and vice versa. Okay, guys. Any questions? Okay. Now, just take a couple of minutes to just, okay, read through these topics here. And what I would like you guys to do before we come back is read on, yes, okay, your power output or what your book is, okay, in the beginning of this chapter here, it's okay, mentioned under the name transducer output. Yeah. And receiver gain. Now, what was your receiver gain? Amplification. Did that make sense? Okay. And if you don't recall what bio effect or biologic effect was, well, okay, yes, please go back to chapter 2 and look at what a bio effect was as well. Okay. So we will just, okay, mainly just, okay, look at these 4 or 5 points, put them together and say, yes, okay, which is which, what is better, what is worse. Yeah. Okay. So should we see that you got some reading to do? I see you guys back at 10:30. Okay. Get have fun to learn. No. Okay. Good. So first thing first. We can say power output, which we also call transducer power, acoustic power, ping, ping, pong, 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 pong. Okay. And on the other hand, receiver gain, which we also called amplification, right? Yeah, okay. So just to, yes, okay. You can say, okay, the amount of energy that the transducer transmits to the patient. Yeah, okay. Whereas on the other hand, receiver gain, yes, okay, the amplification, the increasing in the, we can say, okay, just simply the amplitude of the sound wave that is reflected back. And received by the ultrasound system. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. Now, guys, if, for instance, we increased the power output too high, what that was going to lead to is the image will get too bright. Did that make sense? Likewise, if we increased the receiver gain too high, or amplification too high, or that's okay, set or B mode too high, that as well was going to cause that the image will get too bright. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Good. Do you guys know why? Oops. Why will your image be too bright if you increase your power output too high?
Because amplification,
No. Right now, we're not talking about amplification. My question is, why is it that your image will be too bright if you increase your power output too high?
The reflected sound wave will have a high intensity.
Exactly. The reflected sounds will relatively be of a too high intensity, which causes that overall your whole image becomes too bright. Clear? Okay. Now, Kathleen, if we is okay, increase or B mode too high. That's one, okay, what you are trying to say is okay comes in. Because then those reflections are going to be amplified too much. Clear? Okay. And being amplified too much is going to cause them to appear too bright. Did that make sense? So whether you have as okay too high of a power output or too high of a amplification or what we call receiver gain, in both instances, the effect on your image is going to be that your images will become too bright. Did that make sense? Yeah, okay. But, just to add a little thing here. Because, okay, too much amplification, what else will that cause?
Too much noise.
Too much noise. Okay, Christian. Not to discourage you from giving the answers, but let the girl say something too. Okay? Otherwise, they just go, well, okay. Now, yes, okay, they miss, okay, let's just get out of this. And you keep on answering. Right? And what's going to be the outcome of that? Well, okay, I get to know that you know about it. Okay, I don't doubt that. But okay, girls. So try to beat him, not like this way, but
Do
like, okay,
that.
well, okay, that's why I told him not to. Yes, okay, just try to like, okay, control it for a bit. Okay, 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 guys. He says, listen, guys, nobody has been killed yet for giving a wrong answer.
I'm giving you wrong answers, Mike.
That's better than, okay, saying nothing. Okay, at least we can get you corrected. Okay, and I don't hope that anybody minds getting corrected now, rather than, okay, yes, on the day of your tests because you chose the wrong answer. So now is the time to give the wrong answers and get corrected. Okay, but do it intentionally. Okay, 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 guys. Now, on the other hand, we can say, yes, okay, what if, yes, okay, our power output was too low? Now, what that was going to lead to was that the image will be too dark. Did that make sense? Okay. Why? Because if the intensity, if the power or the energy of the sound wave that we transmit to the patient is too low, only a certain small fraction of that is going to get reflected back. So even that small fraction of an already low incidence, when that gets reflected back, even if we max up on our amplification here, is not going to be strong enough to create a meaningful, yes, okay, image or reflect on our image. So mainly as, okay, our image is going to be too dark. Did you guys get that? Okay. Likewise, guys, if our amplification or receiver gain, as we call it, is too low, that as well is going to lead to that the image is going to be too dark. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
So what we can say in both instances of whether it was power output or receiver gain, also known as amplification, this here has, okay, has a whole bunch of names that we had on page, what was it? Maybe we should write that down. Yes, okay, 218. Clear, okay? All those synonyms in the first paragraph are all synonyms of your power output, or what we also call transducer output, right? Okay. Okay. So if that was too high, well, okay, yes, your image will be too bright, even though we didn't amplify. Okay. Where, okay, yes, even if this was kept as a standard, but yes, okay, if we did too much amplification, or yes, okay, increased our receiver gain too much, that was going to cause that, okay, yes, the image overall was going to become too bright. Or on the other hand, too low of a power output, well, okay, yes, your image would be too dark. Okay. Or even guys, yes, okay, if we had, okay, yes, or power output at a normal standard, but yes, okay, at too low of a amplification, that as well can cause that the image will be too dark. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So one thing before yes, okay, we jump into yes, okay, our next discussion. How can we correct the image being too bright? And likewise, how can we correct the image to become if it was too dark? Now, if your image, for instance, okay, was too bright, it could be corrected by yes, okay, we can say it's okay, reducing the power output, right? Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. Or likewise, if your image was too bright, well, okay. In this case, yes, okay, it could be corrected by reducing the receiver gain. Whereas if your image was too dark, now because yes, okay, one way to correct it was by increasing the power output. Or it could be corrected by increasing the receiver gain. Or increase the amplification. Did you guys get that? So
Yes.
here were our issues. And yes, okay, here were the ways in which we could fix those issues. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. But with that said, there is one thing that we also need to keep in mind, and that is the patient's exposure to sound energy. Okay, very many can say because it's okay. The greater the exposure to sound energy, okay, in whatever tissue, okay. Now different tissues are going to yes, okay, have different yes, okay, indices by which yes, okay, they absorb the sound. But you can mean says okay, it's still going to be yes, okay, a certain amount of the sound that a tissue is going to be exposed to that it will absorb. It's just going to be that level of absorption is just going to be different from tissue to tissue to tissue to tissue to tissue. Okay, some tissues may absorb a great percentage of the energy that it gets exposed to. Some tissues may absorb lesser percent or lesser amount of the energy that is going to be exposed to. But generally we can say as okay, the more energy a tissue is going to get absorbed to, more is it that it will absorb. Or the other way around. Did you get that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So okay, where were we? Okay. So the greater the exposure, well, we can say it's okay. That's going to lead to yes, okay, a greater amount absorbed. And on the other hand, vice versa. Lesser amount of exposure will lead to yes, okay, lesser amount of sound energy being absorbed. Okay. And what is it that this absorbed energy here is going to lead to? Clear, okay. Heating of the tissues. And we can say that greater greater exposure, greater absorption, more heating. Or on the other hand, lesser exposure, less energy will be absorbed, less energy be absorbed by a tissue is going to cause, or is going to, yes, okay, cause more likely, yes, okay, less production of heating of the tissue. And this heating of the tissue here cause what we can call biologic effects. Which of course, that's okay, it's going to be, it's okay, different from tissue to tissue to tissue. But now, just as a general rule, if a tissue is absorbed, it's okay, is exposed to a greater amount of energy, it is going to absorb more of it. That tissue is going to warm up more, and there will be, it's okay, as a general thumb rule, a greater likelihood of biologic effect or bioeffects to develop. And likewise, okay, as other on the other hand. Any questions? Okay. So what was biologic effect? The effect that the sound had upon the tissues. Clear? Okay. What was that going to be as a result of? The amount of energy that was absorbed by the tissue. Clear? Okay. So that tit for tat of your acoustic propagation properties. Okay, because acoustic propagation properties was what we called, or what we said was your, or the effect of the tissue upon the sound wave. A big example of that was attenuation. Okay, we could also say as okay, one of that effects of the tissues was impedance, which was going to cause reflection, which as well also that's okay caused attenuation of the sound wave as it travels, right? Okay. Clear. Okay. But that's made as okay, just a standard thumb rule. Okay. The more energy that okay the tissues is going to be exposed to, the more is it that it will absorb. The more energy it will absorb, the more tissue warming or heating. The more tissue heating, more likely as okay is it that that tissue will be affected by the sound energy, and that effect is going to be later referred to as biologic effect or bioeffects. Clear? So, with keeping all this in mind, guys, there's okay, yes, what they call, yes, okay, the LR principle. Okay. Now, please do not try to just okay, look the word Alara up in a Webster dictionary. You may not find anything because it's okay, Alara is just an abbreviation. Yeah, okay. And what it stands for is as low, as reasonable, achievable. Yep, okay. So that's going to be yes, okay, what your Alara principle is going to be about. But the bottom line of this, yes, okay, Alara principle here is that we mean it says, okay, that the patient's exposure to sound energy, okay, should be kept low enough and okay, in spite of keeping it low enough, yes, okay, still, yes, okay, get a reasonable, bright enough image. Did you guys get that? So the whole purpose of the Alara principle is to get an image that is bright enough, not too bright, not too dark, but also keeping, yes, okay, the patient's safety in mind. Now, what's going to be the patient's safety? Exposing him or her to the least amount of sound energy and still get the image that is bright enough. Not too bright, not too dark. Have you guys heard the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears? Good. Now, what was it that Goldilocks did?
She broke into the bear's home and tried all their things.
Try all the things, right? Okay. So one chair was too big, one was too small, and one was just right. Clear? Okay. One bowl of oatmeal or porridge, as they call it, Here you guys call it oatmeal. In other places of the world, they call it porridge. Was just too hot. One ball was too cold, and one was just right. And then the beds, right? Okay, one was too hard, one was too soft, and one was right. Clear? Okay. So you guys never know that Goldilocks had a younger sister or a twin sister? No? Never heard of her? Okay. Her name was Alara. Because, okay, what is that we want to achieve by the Alara principle is not too bright, not too dark. Clear? Okay. Just the right brightness. But on the other hand, it's okay, also doing so by ensuring reduced exposure of the patient to sound energy. Oh, that's okay. What is that? Or what is it that theoretically can lead to is development of bioeffect or biologic effects. Which means you can say it's okay that the tissues may start taking damage from the exposure of the energy. And that's why I say theoretically. In ultrasound, that's okay. So far, that's okay. It hasn't been seen. But, well, we can say it's okay. Never say never. That's why it's just okay. Why don't they do a CAT scan if you are pregnant? It's too high amount of energy. It's known to, it's okay. It's known to, it's okay, cause bioeffect or biologic effect due to the amount of energy that you are being exposed to. Okay. So I think it's okay from day one. Back in medical terminology. I even told you this, okay, that ultrasound is a relatively low amount of energy test. That's why it's so safe. Okay. Well, okay, good. So now we have, yes, okay, all the pieces of the puzzle. So we had power output versus receiver gain. Yeah, okay. We says, okay, if this was, sorry, too high, what was that going to lead? Image being too bright. Clear? Okay. Likewise here, if it's okay, too high, well, okay, that was going to lead to, yes, okay, a too bright image. Clear? On the other hand, if we say that, okay, yes, too low, but we can say, okay, that our image was going to be, it's okay, too dark. Or likewise here, too low. That's become a little bit too. It's okay, too low. Then that's going to be too dark. And likewise here. Too low. And we could see it's okay. Too dark. Right, okay. How could we correct a too bright image? We could do in two ways. Either could, yes, okay, reduce the power output. And that would mean, yes, okay, just lead to, yes, okay, a reduction in the brightness. Or we can say make it from too dark or too bright to just be. That's okay, the correct brightness. Okay. But likewise, okay, if our image was too dark, or sorry, too bright, sorry, that could also be corrected by reducing your amplification. And mean, yes, okay, by doing so, yes, okay, reduce the brightness to the correct brightness. Okay. That chair that was not too big, not too small, but just the right size. Okay. Now, since, yes, okay, guys, since both of these here can tend to, yes, okay, reduce your brightness just to the correct brightness. But the question is, okay, is in terms of, yes, okay, Alara. Or the Alara principle. And you mean it says, okay, we want, yes, okay, get the correct brightness. But on the other hand, also, yes, okay, want to minimize the patient's exposure. So which of these two here is okay, would you decrease first to get the correct brightness? If you had an image that was too bright, it could be corrected by reducing either your amplification or your power output. But based on the Alara principle, which of these two is okay, would you reduce first?
The output power?
Output power, exactly right. Okay. Because what did we do? We killed two birds with one stone. We reduced the brightness of the image, and on the other hand, also reduce the patient's exposure. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. So this could be, yes, okay, your second choice amongst the two. Okay, just on the other hand, if your image, for instance, okay, was too dark, now there was two ways to correct that. Either increase the power output, because I would take it from too dark to the correct brightness, right? Or on the other hand, we can increase our, okay, let's just choose it. We could, yes, okay, increase our receiver gain. If the image was too dark. Okay, just until, yes, okay, we get that correct or ideal brightness of the image. But again, guys, in our Alara principle, because okay, you wanted, okay, yes, an image that was Just the right brightness. But reducing the patient's exposure. So which one will we go with first?
You increase the receiver gain first.
You increase the receiver gain. Exactly. Very good. First, because what did that do? It brought that image from being too dark just to the correct brightness, but did that without increasing the exposure. Of course, that's okay. You still will have to take into consideration, okay, as increasing as okay, your amplification is okay, too much you may as okay also start to produce noise. And that's when you say, okay, no, it's probably going to be okay, enough amplification. Okay, let's just increase this a little bit. Okay, because you don't want your image to get contaminated by noise. So in both instances, okay, this is pretty much okay, as you can say, how you kill two birds with one stone. Your image was too dark. There were two options. Okay, just like you walk down a hallway and there were two doors, and you go, okay, which one should I enter? Okay. Do you open the door with the scorpions or with the alligators? Okay. But you have two options, and your thing will be as okay, what is it I want to achieve? Any questions? Yes, my dear students.
No question.
No questions. Kids. So that mainly is okay, brought us to the end of your chapter. That was not that bad, right? Maybe a little bit lengthy, but okay, that's fine. Once in a while, it's okay, we get chapters like this. Okay, guys. So, what do we have now? Or what is left? What mainly is left is some questions that we have at the end of the chapter. And in your exam review. So you may get a little bit of, okay, yes, free sampling of how, yes, okay, or what kind of questions to expect to be asked. Okay. So yes, okay, we have all questions at the back of the chapter. And then yes, okay, in your exam review, let me just see. Okay. You will find the questions for this chapter here. On these pages. On page 572. Which is question 409. 22222. Question 437. Okay, guys. So you know what you should do now. Okay. So would it be fair enough that we squeeze your lunch break together with time for you guys to take your answer your questions? And I'll be back around, should we say 12:40ish? That's fair enough. Whatever you're able to answer, then okay, we'll take it from there. Okay, guys?
You want the ones at the end of the chapter and the ones in the back of the book, right?
As many as you can answer.
Okay.
Clear? Okay. At least look at them by yourselves and okay, yes. And see if you're able to just okay figure them out. If not, well, okay, we'll go over them together and do our routine way of it's okay playing around the questions as much as we can. Okay. Okay. Questions now. All of the following are components of an ultrasound system except from the and it's just a matter of okay, us looking which one was not in the list. Where we says okay. We could say okay, we had transducer, we had pulsar, we had beamer, we had receiver, because that's okay, we have display, and we have okay, yes, synchronizer. Yeah, okay, so the only one that we don't find as a component of our ultrasound system is the alternator. That's what you find in cars. Cars have alternators. I know that because, not that I'm a car mechanic, but once my car failed the emission test because I had to change an alternator. So, okay, and okay, so that's fine. Good. But guys, okay, as question like this, if you see a term that you never heard about, that's always going to be it's okay, either not the answer or the answer, all depending upon it's okay what they are asking about. So here's okay, they're asking, have you heard of this being a component of your ultrasound system? No. Okay. Whereas had they asked, okay, which of the following is or are, then it's okay, all these here were had been the correct answers. And okay, there are going to be okay more components in the next chapter. Question 2. This type of pulsar generates a constant. Okay. This kind of pulsar generates a constant electrical signal in the form of a sine wave. Okay. Now, the catchphrase here is constant wave. Okay. Okay. Which is going to be as okay, a continuous wave. Okay. Did you guys get that? Because
Yeah.
it's all time is on time. Good. Question number 4. Pretty much okay because that's okay. The same options, but it's okay. Or is it the ask here is this type of pulsar generates a single electrical spike, which ultimately creates a single sound pulse. Okay, and we have okay as a pulsed array, phased array, we have a continuous wave, and we have a pulsed wave, single crystal. Okay, and the word here is okay as in the single spike, because that single spike is going to just okay lead to a fixed focal point. Okay. Or as okay one single PCT. Now this part, okay. Question number 4. Now this type of pulsar generates numerous electrical spikes. Yeah, okay. Which ultimately creates a single sound pulse. Okay. And that's going to be as okay, your array transducers. Did that make any sense?
Yeah.
Question number 5. Let's get to the real world. Now, the acoustic power of a sound beam emitted by the transducer is determined by the dash of the pulsar's signal. Okay. Now, if you look at the word, the catch word here is power. Acoustic means okay, just a fancy word for sound, right? Okay. Okay. So the power of your sound wave or sound beam emitted by the transducer that the transducer sends out. What determines this? This was going to be determined by by the voltage of your pulsar signal. Okay, just a fancier way of saying what will this here be determined by the amount of electrical energy, which is measured in voltage. Okay. Pulse repetition frequency would just have been, yes, okay, had the asked, okay, yes, the period or the depth of the sound traveling, so on, so on, so would have been determined by, yes, okay, your of the pulse by, yes, okay, the pulse repetition frequency. Okay, frequency as such has nothing to do with your pulsar. Okay, your pulsar has no role in determining the frequency of your transducer. We already talked about it. Okay, what that was. ECG's speed of sound. Clear, okay. And the thickness of that PCT. Clear, okay. Nothing is okay related to your pulse was the terminal frequency. And rectification is okay. We just talked about it's okay what rectification was today. Okay. But that's again, it's okay, was not a function of your pulsar. So that's where that directly is okay is excluded. Rectification was a function of your receiver. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Good. Question number 6. And in question number 6 is okay, what is it that they have given us? All of the following are functions of the receiver except. So they have given us okay 4 functions of receiver, which is demodulation. We have suppression. We have amplification. And we have attenuation. Okay. Okay. Now, one of these is not going to be as okay a function of your receiver. Now, the answer here is okay is attenuation. Because that's mainly as okay something that happens as the sound travels through the tissues or medium, right? Clear? Okay. Did that make sense? But again, yes, okay, guys. This one here is okay. It could have even said it's okay rectification would have been okay as a function of the receiver because it still falls under demodulation, or even if he has said yes, okay, enveloping or smoothing. Clear? Okay. Now suppression. What was that? That was just another name for reject. So you see, yes, okay, it's important that you know, yes, okay, the alternative terms that, okay, yes, a function, a factor, exactor, exactor, exactor may be known by. Otherwise, you will be lost. Yeah, okay. Did that make sense? And okay, as amplification, as you know, that's okay. That was one of the primary or main functions of our receiver. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. Of course. Now place the following function, or place these functions in order in which the ultrasound system performs them. And that's why I said yesterday, it's okay, not only do they go or as okay, not only do we write them in okay in an alphabetical order, so yes, okay, we're going to be easier to remember, but that's actually okay, also going to be the way in which that they are performed. So amplification, compensation, compression, demodulation, and reject. Is that clear?
Yes.
Good. Now, please, guys, that's okay. You can get the same question where they may ask you to do the same thing. Clear? Okay. But instead of amplification, it's okay. You may have, it's okay. You can say the word receiver gain. Here they may, it's okay, say swept gain, for instance. For compensation, compression, they may say it's okay, dynamic range. For demodulation, okay, there wasn't a range term, okay, but it's okay. You can say it's okay. That they may even go and say it's okay, suppressed, or as we call it, threshold. Okay. So again, terms that, so that's what it has to still be as okay, this first, our receiver gain first, swept gain next, dynamic range next, demodulation next, and okay, yes, suppression or threshold next. Or even yes, okay, with a rotor ejector. So yes, okay, the words here can be switched around. Okay, but these were yes, okay, this is okay, the primary terms that we know them as, but you have to know the alternative terms as well. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Don't say, Mike, okay, but these are not in alphabetical order. Well, okay, yes, if you translate them, it's okay, then they are arranged in alphabetical order. Question number 8. My favorite variety, true or false? So is it true to say that amplification processes all reflected signals in a similar manner? That was true. Okay, as I said yesterday, it's okay. If you find it's okay, do amplification, and we say it's okay. For instance, times 10. What that mainly meant was, or what we mainly said was, that all signals returning back from, yes, okay, different tissue boundaries with their own intensities all was going to, yes, okay, get equally amplified. So that thing that I mentioned yesterday says, okay, the amplification actually is okay, equally or evenly amplifies all signals. That's what they ask us here. Okay. But are we going to have a equal or yes, okay, uniform brightness from top to bottom as a result of amplification? But that is no. That was when all is okay, compensation comes into play. Okay. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Good. And another thing where it's okay, your amplification was even and equal was its signal to noise ratio. Clear? Okay. So it had an equal signal to noise ratio. For every apple, there should be an orange. Clear? Okay. Question number. Okay, so Question number 9. Again, true or false? Now, compensation processes all reflected signals in a similar manner. Just asking the same thing as we did for amplification here. But for amplification, it's okay, that was wrong. Clear? Okay, for amplification, that was going to be false because it's not going to be every signal that gets reflected back that is going to, as okay, be processed the same way. You can say, okay, signals from shallow depth, less compensation. Okay, we can say, okay, along the slope, increase in compensation, and okay, yes, maybe it's okay here. It's going to be it's okay our max compensation. Did that make sense? So it's not going to be as okay equal handling of all the signals. Yeah, okay. But is it going to yes, okay, give us okay as a somehow uniform brightness from top to bottom or throughout the image? Yes. Okay, guys. Now the next question that you see here is okay, yes, what would you do? Or Scooby-Doo, what would you do? So if somebody says that's okay, Mike, you told us that there was going to be no pictures on a test. Well, okay, yes. At least not to label. Right? Okay. But can you get pictures like these on a test and say, well, okay, here are the options. Scooby-Doo, what should you do? Is that a possibility? It's a yes. Yes. Okay. So good. Let's see. What can we do here? Now you gotta be a little bit careful about yes, okay, the options that they give you. Okay, because more than one option may look right. Yeah, okay, if you're not on top of the picture here. Oh, okay. So, oopsie, we can say it's okay, our first picture, for instance. Now, guys, if we just look at it, yeah, okay. Now this is our picture. Now, what do we have at a shallow depth or shallow? It's too dark. And maybe we can say it's okay here, it's okay at the bottom. Just yes, okay. We can say it's okay, yes, okay, yes. Right. Brightness, for instance, right? Okay. Okay. Now, what the main is okay, tell us, okay, yes, which of the following choices is best? Now, guys, the word lies in best. I don't know what the options are, but let's see. Okay. Which of the following choices is the best when the image on your ultrasound display reflectors only a region far from the transducer, but no reflectors in a region close to the transducer that we have here? Clear? Okay. Now, one is adjust compensation. Two is a higher frequency transducer. 3 is decrease the pulsar or power. Okay. And 4 is okay as adjust your reject level. Now, guys, option A, as a matter of fact, is the only correct answer here. Clear? Okay. Now, the reason that, okay, yes, we still may, as okay, have, okay, as a too dark image here is because, yes, okay, that even, yes, okay, at these depths here, yes, okay, our sound has been, because it's okay, attenuated to an extent that, okay, yes, they do not show. Okay. Now, we may say, yes, okay, why do we have, yes, okay, reflections here? Mainly because, yes, okay, at the greatest depth, we already have set it at a dark. But then, yes, okay, at the remaining part, yes, okay, we just added, or yes, okay, at the minimum. So we probably, yes, okay, will need to slide it over. So yes, okay, that these reflections here actually, yes, okay, also will become visible. Now, choosing a higher frequency transducer, what that would do, guys, this is just going to lead to, yes, okay, more attenuation. And what mainly will happen is, well, okay, not only is this is already dark, but even yes, okay, this here is okay, may disappear because by the time, yes, okay, the sound wave reaches down here, due to the higher frequency, they may be attenuated as well. And this area is going to become blacked out as well. Did you guys get that? Clear? Okay. Decreasing your pulsar power is not, well, okay, this is already black or darked out. Decreasing the pulsar power is just going to, yes, okay, cause it, yes, okay, it can't get any blacker. But mainly, yes, okay, even just going to, yes, okay, eliminate this. Did you get that? Okay. And adjusting your eject is going to be as okay, not doing anything because in this image here, yes, okay, we didn't really have, there was no noise. So adjusting our eject is not going to do anything. Did you guys get that?
Yeah, so you said decreasing the output power would make it darker as well.
Even this here is going to become darker, right? Because what is
Okay,
it that you
so-
do when you decrease? What's your pulsar power? Pulsar. What did the pulsar do? Yes, my dear. What was the function of your pulsar?
Um, it was the 5 functions we learned about, right?
What are the functions of your pulsar, my dear?
Oh, I don't know.
It determines the time between a voltage spike, between each voltage spike.
It determines your PRP. It determines your PRF. And it determines the amplitude, which will be as okay, the power, which will be the intensity of the pulse. And may it's okay to say that pulse that is being transmitted. So pretty much okay as the output power. My dear, if you decrease the output power, you mainly as okay is sending less energy out, right? Right?
Right.
Good. So what that was going to cause is that, okay, the sound may not be necessarily strong enough to reach down here because, okay, the audio, okay, gets attenuated in the way. So you guys, okay, the reflections that we had here to begin with will disappear.
Okay, so if it was opposite and it said increase pulsar power, then that.
That could have been a good option.
Okay,
Yeah, okay, but still not the best
right,
because, okay, uh, had our image just, okay, being darker due to a lower pulse power or pulsar power that might have, yes, okay, needed to be increased. At least we will had reflections here, but in this area, yes, okay, there will be no reflections
okay,
because the pulse was only, oh, that's okay, the sound wave was only, yes, okay, strong enough to travel here. By the time it reached these depths here, it already had attenuated because to begin with, yes, okay, it was a weak pulse. Yeah, just think of it in this way. And that's why I say it's okay. You leave your home with $200. Okay, now let's just put it this way that, okay, yes, your average spending in a store is $10. You'll be able to just, okay, go and shop in 20 stores, which is going to be one after another, right? Clear? Okay, let's just say that was if we had a high power. Clear? Okay, so that sound would be able to travel a relatively greater distance rather than as, okay, if you leave your house with $20 and you know that you can't leave a store without spending $10 in that store. It's not a matter of whether you need the things or not, you just buy it. Okay. But what's going to happen now? Well, okay, yes, less money. Well, okay, in this case, you can only go to 2 stores. So what happens? Well, okay, before you leave, you come back because your money is all spent. So likewise, okay, low intensity signal is going to just, okay, only be able to travel a shorter distance because of the low power. That was the energy that it carried. Okay. Did that make sense?
yes,
Okay, good. Okay, guys, let's look at the next question. And what do we have here? Now, okay, yes. I think all of us can agree that this image here is, okay, is too bright. Clear? Oh, sorry. That's even what it says in the question. Okay. Okay. So which of the following choices is the best when your image on the ultrasound system is saturated? Now here they already gave you yes, okay, a word. Saturated. Okay. Okay. Now decrease your amplification gain. So option 1 is, okay, yes, can you reduce your amplification? Well, okay, yes, if you look at that reduction of the amplification, yes, okay, it's going to, yes, okay, reduce the brightness. Okay, so this could be an answer. But what we are looking for is the best. Let's see. Use a higher frequency transducer. Okay. Now using a higher frequency. What that means is, okay, what it's going to do is, okay, this was our image here. The effect of the higher frequency was meaning that, okay, yes, that this area here is okay, down here is okay, or dark out because of the attenuation. Okay, but that is not going to address that, okay, this part of the image is okay, still was too bright. Contrast, okay, is even going to cause, okay, as the deeper parts of our images, okay, become so dark and we actually, okay, won't be able to visualize or see anything. So yes, okay, using a higher frequency transducer is not the solution. Now decrease your power output. Or output power. Now is that going to, yes, okay, reduce the brightness on the image? Yes, it will reduce the brightness on the image. Just like, okay, as decrease in the amplification or a receiver gain would do. But then, ladies and the gentlemen, this option here becomes the best because what does it do as well? Not only take care of, okay, as the too bright image, but yes, okay, at the other hand, also, yes, okay, reduced the patient's exposure to, that's okay, what we can say is, okay, what I mean, to high amount of sound energy. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. Now, guys, if this was not an option, if you didn't have this option, decrease the amplification. If you didn't have this option here, reduce the power output. Then the last option, which is okay, yes, adjust reject level. Cross. Because pretty much, guys, okay, what you see here is okay, may also as okay look like. Or looking as okay, could be as okay what noise would be looking like. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
So you
Good.
said if the other two options weren't available, then that's when that would be the answer?
Exactly.
Okay.
But yes, okay, they go by best. Okay, so primarily, yes, okay, reducing your amplification would be good. Or reducing your power output would be good as well, right? Did that make sense?
Yeah.
But then, yes, okay, you can, the answer here is okay, is mainly as okay, also is okay, taking into consideration Alara, which just makes reducing your power output the best option. Because what did you do? Not only did you deal with the too bright of the image, but as okay, you also as okay reduced your patient's exposure.
Will we, like, I don't really know how to ask this, but would we really ever be picking use a higher frequency transducer? Like, I'm just not sure what, like, I don't know.
Yes, you may, because, okay, yes. Why would they make a higher frequency transducer?
No, I know that, but is there like an image
No,
in the
you know that, so let us know that you know it. Why would you use a higher frequency transducer? Or let me put it this way, what's going to be the benefit of using a higher frequency transducer? Okay, my dear, even though I use the phrase as okay, higher frequency transducer, but let's just say it's okay that they still fall within the range of a normal ultrasound transducer. So what's going to be the benefit of using as okay, a higher versus a lower frequency transducer? It has its benefit. The disadvantage is that okay, that sound wave may attenuate faster, but it has its benefit. There's another side of the coin too.
a deeper penetration.
No, my dear. Rather vice versa. The higher frequency transducer is going to attenuate more, which means okay, reduces its penetration. Okay. Anybody? What would be the benefit of using a higher frequency transducer? No clue. Okay, guys, I know it's been a while that I mentioned that. Okay,
You'll have
go ahead, yeah.
oh,
Sorry.
you'll have better axial resolution at shallower depths.
You have better axial resolution. Higher frequency transducer, lower wavelength, right? Lower wavelength, shorter spatial pulse length. Shorter spatial pulse length, better axial resolution. Did that make sense? So you had two transducers, let's say it's okay, 3 megahertz and 15 megahertz. Clear? Okay. Now, if you had a poor axial resolution, you can actually improve that by using a higher frequency transducer.
Okay.
Did that make sense here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I said that back in chapter 2, just to repeat it in chapter number 10. Again, that, and how do we get okay as a high frequency transducer? When we talk pulse wave transducers, yes, guys. Thinner PCC and greater propagation speed of sound in the PCC. That will cause that pulse wave transducer to have a higher frequency. Yep. Okay, guys. Any questions? Anybody want to say anything? No. Okay. It's so question number 3. And what do we have here, guys? Well, we can mean says okay, there's only going to be as okay at the shallow depth. Then we can say okay that we have some reflections, whereas okay the rest of the image here is too dark. Yeah, okay. So what do we have again? Yes, okay, which of the following choices is the best when the image on your ultrasound system displays only reflectors in a region close to the transducer, but no reflectors that are deep. Okay, and our answers we have is A, adjust compensation. B, higher frequency transducer. C, increase the power output. Yeah. And D, that's okay, adjust reject. Now, guys, let's just go from the bottom. Adjust reject is not going to solve our issue here because we have no noise. Okay. We don't see as okay small flickering throughout the image. So there's no noise. Okay, guys. Now we can say that okay, as increasing power output could do it, but that's not the real issue here. Okay. Because then we will have had okay, yes, a relatively blacker yes, okay, image here. The reason that we see something here is that's okay, that there's no problem with the power output. Okay, so that's again is okay. Not the issue.
So that wouldn't be the answer, not because it would increase bioeffects.
You can
Because I'm just
yes,
thinking about it the way I was
put it
trying
that
to.
way.
What?
Maybe put it that way. Okay. By okay, increasing your power output. And my dear, listen, you have to find the best.
No, right. That's
This,
what I'm trying to say. Like,
this could have been an answer. This could have
Right,
been
okay.
an answer.
yeah,
but-
that's what I was trying to say. Like,
But most likely,
trying-
okay, listen, my dear. This could have been the right answer had your image been all blacked out. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Then, for instance, things such as, okay, as increase your amplification or increase as, okay, the power output. Either of these would have been as, okay, the right answer. Because that would have been as, okay, the best option. Now, of course, as, okay, if both of these were written as we had above, then you can say, okay, increase the amplification would be the best because it brightens up our whole image. Please keep in mind that it's going to brighten up the whole image. And in this case, that's okay, also it's okay, reduce, that's okay, not increase the patient's exposure. Because what we do in amplification is the signal that returns back from the patient to the system that are being increased in intensity. Did you get that, dear?
Yes, I was just
So-
trying
so-
to rationalize why I wouldn't pick that as the right answer and like use the last question to like help my brain understand.
Now, my dear, higher frequency transducer. Now you can increase the frequency of the transducer. You mainly may say as, okay, the reason that we got this image here was that we already as, okay, used a transducer with an already high frequency. Because we could say as, okay, that the sound wave only as, okay, was able to penetrate to this depth here. So use a transducer with an even higher frequency was just going to just, okay, make this blacked out zone here even bigger, right? Okay. And it said, for instance, okay, have you had an option that says, okay, reduce the frequency of the transducer? That could have been an option. Because then that reduced frequency actually is okay, will enable the sound wave to, yes, okay, travel to greater depths. Right? Okay. Did that make sense? And enable us, okay, as to visualize as, okay, these structures here at this depth as well. Because they were able to travel without, yes, okay, attenuating to the extent. But since that is not the option that we have here, our last option is, again, adjust your compensation. Maybe in this case, it's okay, they have kept all the compensation at minimum. Well, okay, it doesn't matter over here because these sound waves, okay, still were of okay, high enough intensity that they didn't need compensation. But from this point and beyond, yes, okay, the sound wave already is okay, started to attenuate to a degree that they needed to get compensated. Okay, and that's why it's okay, they say it's okay, just adjust your compensation. Adjust is just okay as a green is okay, a broad word. It could mean either increase or decrease. But let's be honest here, it's okay, you will increase your compensation. Okay. So the thing is, okay, you need to look at the pictures and first of all, see as okay, what do I see here? Clear? Okay. The next thing you need to look at is, okay, is what is wrong with this picture? Clear? Okay. And once you know the problem, then they may are giving you as okay, different ways of treating it. Of course, some of them are going to be wrong treatments. Clear? Okay. But since that's okay, now you know the problem, and you would know, yes, okay, because it's okay, the concept being of what is okay each of the treatments suggested here is going to do. Is it going to improve the problem or is it going to make it worse? Okay, and that's why you made it okay. This is okay. Tick out, tick out, tick out. Okay, this is going to make it worse. This is going to make it worse. This is going to make it worse. This one here is a 50-50, and this one here is okay. Is also going to okay improve it, but out of the two options that we had that could correct the problem, this one here is the best one. Did you get that, dear? Okay. Have you guys heard of the artist who made a picture and put it on display and asked somebody, or maybe it's okay, put a notice with it and says, okay, pinpoint the mistake in the picture or painting and circle it with a red dot. He came back the next day and okay, his entire painting was filled with red dots because everybody saw as okay their own mistake. So what he did was, well, okay, he got a little bit sad. He said, okay, I made a painting and everybody else, okay, somebody found a mistake in it. Damn it. So you mean, okay, just put a photocopy of that painting up and say, okay, correct it. And did anybody do anything? No. Okay. Okay. Why? Maybe because they didn't know, yes, okay, what the problem was. But they were just given the opportunity to, yes, okay, find a problem. Or, yes, okay, create a problem. Okay. So, yes, okay. Dr. Irvine, yes, okay, some of the options may, yes, okay, sound appealing. But think twice before choosing it because, okay, what is going to be the effect of it? Not just O'Brien, everybody. Okay. Yes, my dear. Any further questions? Okay. So in question A and in question 1 and 3, both answers was okay, adjust your compensation. Right, okay. In A was okay, adjust, yes, okay, increase your compensation at the shallow depth. In B, yes, okay, in C as in cat, yes, okay. Oh, so question 3, sorry. Just adjust your compensation at the deep depth. Yeah. Okay. Now, how many of you were able to get back to the questions in the back of the book? Okay. Let's just see how far we can get. It's Friday tomorrow?
Yep.
Okay. So let's go with question number 409 on page 507.
Mike, are we starting a new chapter tomorrow? Those are big eyes.
We may. Unless you wanna come in for your midterm on Monday.
Good joke.
Yeah, it didn't crack. Okay.
All right, let's get going with the questions
Okay,
then.
okay, my dear, because okay, I don't see much of a point of being just okay on a standby for 1.5 week just because you have a midterm coming on. That's why I say okay, you can choose any days for the revision. Whether you do that from tomorrow and Monday, Tuesday, and then we go on to the next chapter, or we can at least just okay get started with the next chapter. And okay, yes, do that, and okay, say okay, last 2 or 3 days is okay. Before the weekend, before the midterm is okay, you guys have just okay review or revision.
Okay, that sounds good. Just curious.
Good. So most likely it's okay, we may start a new chapter tomorrow. Good. So where were we now? Which of the following yes okay is not considered a component of the ultrasound system? Clear, okay. And here is okay. There's again yes okay a list of terms. Master synchronizer, although it's okay, we didn't talk about it or its function, but it's okay. It was listed in the list. The pulsar SOK was a component. Your receiver, so it was a component. And the main SOK just SOK try to fool somebody by amplification and say it's okay image intensifier. But we didn't have amplification. We didn't have a component called the intensifier, image intensifier. Okay. Question number 410. Now, true or false? Now, the pulsar of a mechanical transducer is typically more complex than the pulsar of a phased array. That's false. Your phased array, or SOK, even SOK, simple SOK, your array transducers are more sophisticated than a mechanical transducer. The mechanical transducer was pretty much very basic. Yeah, okay. Okay. Did that make sense? So things which are more complex or things which are simple can't be complex. Let's put it that way. Question 411. But they phrase it opposite and say it's okay that the pulsar of a phased array transducer is more complex than a mechanical, then where I become true. Again, it's okay, compare the ratio of complexity. Okay. 411. What is the typical pulsar output voltage of OKS that excite the piezoelectrical material? Now, not really a number that you guys need to remember. Okay, so okay. But they say it's okay, 40 volts. Okay, but that's mean that's okay. We can say it's okay there. Mean voltage of your pulsar that's going to just okay produce your sound pulses with okay as whatsoever amplitude. Now, what is the typical range of the signal? Okay, let's see. What is the typical voltage of the signal that is input to the receiver of an ultrasound system. Okay, and again, that's okay, not a number that you would need to remember. Okay. But it's okay, since they just said it, it's okay, it's going to be 10 microvolts. Now, if you just say it's okay, 40 volts, which is going to be, it's okay, a multiple of volts. But on the other hand, you say, okay, 10 microvolts, where micro is going to be, it's okay, the millionth of a volt. Okay, so you can maybe, it's okay, see the great contrast or the great difference between, it's okay, your output signals, a pulsar output, and okay, as that of your reflected intensity. Okay. And some of you will say, okay, but why volts? Well, okay, guys, volts is just okay, a unit for electrical energy. Is measured in volts. So we can actually say that, okay, as the output versus just okay, the received. That's okay, the received intensity is okay as at least as okay, a quarter millionth of the array is okay, normal output signal. The quarter of a millionth. Right. Question number 413. Okay. Now the output of an ultrasound pulsar determines the dash of the acoustic pulse. Okay. Now, although that's okay in the book, it said amplitude. Okay. Now we don't really have that here. Okay. It's not going to determine the duration. Let's just take out the options that are wrong. Okay. That's not determined by your pulse. That was mainly as okay going to be determined by the PZT. Because the PZT is okay, mainly as okay determine the wavelength, which directly is okay determines the period, which will determine the pulse duration. Okay. Pulse repetition period. Now that is not the answer here, mainly because okay, it talks about the output, which means okay will be as okay output power. Okay, not the frequency as okay the time of between one pulse to another pulse. Okay. So maybe that's okay. When we say output, that's okay, that means that's okay the amplitude, which we says okay was the output power. Okay, and that's going to become your intensity as the only option. Okay. Now imaging depth. Yes, okay, you could say it's okay, a greater amplitude or a call is okay, an increase in imaging depth. Okay. Okay. but which is not going to be as okay determined by as okay the output. So the catch word here was output, which becomes the output power. Okay, because imaging that being a right answer, then okay, your positive repetition period could also have been a right answer. Okay. Even such as okay, as your positive repetition frequency could have been a right answer. Okay. So here's okay, this output here. That's the catchphrase. Sometimes you just have to look for those catchphrases in the question. Or catch that catchphrase. That will lead you to the correct answer. Or 14. Okay. Now, which of the following does not belong in the group below? Receiver gain, energy output, pulsar power, acoustic power, transmitter power, output gain. Now, B, C, D, E, and F all are names for what we call the power output, or which become the transducers output as the heading. Whereas A, which was as receiver gain, was mainly as what we plainly called amplification. Did you guys get that? Okay. And you had that horrible long list on page 218, if I'm not mistaken, by the page number now. No, sorry. 218. I think that what the page number came down to, right? Yes. Question 415. And this is about true and false. And it's straightforward. It's a straightforward statement. The sonographer can alter the pulsar power. That was true. How? By adjust or alter the power output, which will alter the transducer output. So that's here. Okay. So pulsar power, that pulsar power is just going to be the pulse's intensity is going to be the pulse's amplitude. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Good. Question 416. Now, which of the following actions will improve the signal to noise ratio? Now, increasing your dynamic range. Okay. Now, increasing your dynamic range is not going to improve your signal to noise ratio. Clear? Okay. What we may actually is okay see in a following chapter is that okay, yes, that increasing actually is okay may elevate the threshold and cause more noise to improve as okay appear. Increase your receiver gain. Okay. Now saying that's okay in receiver gain. The signal to noise ratio was equal. That is not going to improve it. Receiver gain was okay, guys, what we just call amplification. If anybody is in doubt about that. Increase our power output. Power output. If that was increased, that was going to cause an improved signal to noise ratio. Why? Because by increasing the power output, the intensity of the signal that we transmit out are stronger. That will mean cause that okay, as we will need lesser receiver gain, which was if it had an equal power signal to noise ratio. So, okay, what we actually said was okay, yes, a way of okay, yes, improving your signal to noise ratio actually is okay, produce more signal and less noise was to increase the power output or transducer output or output gain, energy output, pulsar power, acoustic power, transmitter power, bum bum bim bim bum bum. Yep. Okay. Increase that time gain compensation. Time gain compensation has no effect upon your signal to noise ratio. Did that make sense? So only two options here which really had anything to do with, okay, really for now, had anything to do with, okay, yes, your signal to noise ratio was, okay, as your receiver gain or amplification and the power output. Okay. Okay. By increasing receiver gain, we're going to just, okay, make this ratio here become worse. Actually, it's okay, degraded. Did you guys get that? Okay. Now, which of these functions are performed by the receiver of an ultrasound system? Clear? Okay. More than one answer may apply. And the actions that we have here is amplification. That we also call receiver gain. That was a job of your receiver, right? Threshold. What was threshold? Reject, right? So that's okay, a function of the receiver. Compensation, that's okay, a function of the receiver. Demodulation, a function of receiver. Yeah, so they all were functions of the receiver. Okay. Now, when we look here, is okay, yes. Which of the following is not performed by the receiver in an ultrasound system? More than one may apply. Now, rectification. It is a function of the receiver, just a part of your demodulation, right? Good. Smoothing, a function of a receiver, but just part of a process of your demodulation. Compression, functions of a receiver. Okay. Degaussing, not a function of a receiver. Does anybody know what degaussing means? Okay, maybe that will mean that's okay to take away the gauze from a wound. Or dressing change or something. I don't know. Who knows? Anyways, true or false, that's okay. The sonographer can adjust the receiver gain. Now, what is your receiver gain, guys? Another name for receiver gain.
Amplitude.
Amplification.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
That's what you meant. Okay. Apology accepted. Now, again, my question will be, how would you do that? How would you adjust your receiver gain?
The B mode. knob.
Exactly. The B mode number. Okay. Clockwise increase, counterclockwise decrease. Okay. So practical, yes, okay. Ultrasound physics is very easy. Okay. And it's going to, yes, okay. And it is, yes, okay. It should be more easy because you got the questions already. Okay. We just have to fill in the answers. Okay. Okay, guys. Now let's just see tomorrow. Yes, okay. Send somebody. Yes, okay.
Can I make a request on behalf of the class, not just me?
Okay.
Can we please have tomorrow as a review and then next week we'll only have Thursday, Friday? For me personally, I need to get my life together a little bit with this stuff
Okay.
before I can start something new.
Okay, my dear. Now listen, when we say review, the best way of getting a review that benefits you is you toss the questions and I try to answer.
Okay.
Okay.
So can we call tomorrow a review day, but it's just to get your act together day because I can't ask you any questions right now until I get my act together.
Okay, so you have, let's say it's okay, 18 hours to get your act together.
Okay, Mike, if you
At
want to
least, okay, let's put it this
say
way.
no.
No, okay. Okay, not just you guys, not just you, Caitlin, anybody. Okay, by now, that's okay. You should know that's okay. Which topics are my weak points?
How I know.
Okay, good.
That's what I'm trying to get my
So-
act together with.
Okay, so the best way to do it is okay. As well, these are my weak points, and what actually is that okay as caused them to be my weak. What is it that I don't get about it? Okay. Now, whether you want to write that down, yes, okay, just as points, or you want to say, okay, these are the 3,000 questions I'm going to, that's okay, throw at Michael tomorrow, whatever way you want it to do. Okay? Okay. But that's okay. If I want to, yes, okay, I can spend the whole day talking about, yes, okay, rarefaction and compression. And you guys, you already know about that, right? Okay. Get out of that now or get over it. Okay. Okay. So you will really not get much out of that. So that's why I say the best way to do it is you ask the questions of the topic, about the topics, the point, the relationships, whatever you want to call it, that you have a hard time to comprehend. And okay, I try to fix that issues as we proceed.
Yeah, that's where I need to get to though. Like I'm making a whole sheet of chapter 9 through like basically what you sent us, but like my version of my understanding in my words.
Exactly.
And
That's
so
that my dear, that's the best. That's the best. And that's why I
so
say
that's what I'm just asking if we could have that like tomorrow to like